Bear in mind they're not a 2x72, but you can do a lot on them. In the summer of 2020, from humble beginnings, we started a channel, and this is our journal. With limited finance, what started with the need for a rotating fly tying vise, we went to making knives, 2x72 belt grinders, and here and there an outdoor oven or two. The ultimate goal is to build an off-grid cabin in the woods. But for now, we work with what we have, we do what we do, and we welcome you to follow along with our humble journey. We can't guarantee what's coming around the corner or what's coming next, but we genuinely hope you can sit back and enjoy our journey as much as we are. And yeah, this is pretty much where it began, really, with the making of the old Twister Mark III fly tying vise. I wanted a full rotary fly tying vise, and at the time I just couldn't afford what was on the market. So I decided to make my own, and after 2 years of development, what you're seeing and what you've seen in other videos is what I came up with. And yeah, overall pretty happy with it. I've actually had a friend come around one day, said he wanted to buy one, and yeah, took photos of it, went home and made his own. A little bit annoyed at that at the beginning, but yeah, ultimately that was the plan, was to start making something and produce something that anybody could afford, as it were, and anybody could make, really. Pretty simple construction, but works really, really well. And so from there, what I did, I wanted to make these at home in my own little garage. To say in the beginning there was nothing, there was a few things. Yeah, had a few trade tools and a little bit of trade skill and a 2-car garage, to be fair. So that's where I set things up, started to make little bits and pieces, and from there we moved on. And in the spirit of moving forward, it became pretty apparent pretty quick that I'd have to do a little bit of tooling up to be able to make these things in my own garage, as it were. So what you're going to be looking at next is the first 2 items. I sold 1 or 2 fly vices, and that allowed me to buy some things, which you'll see. First being the Abbott & Ashby 200mm, I think it is, bench grinder, and the old Bosch PBD 40. Great tools, absolutely love them both. So sit back and enjoy what you can on that. Here's a bit of a close-up of the old multi-tool linishing attachment that came on this machine. To be honest, yeah, once it's running, once you got it dialed, bit of angle on, and removing burrs and so forth and so on. So this is a little bit about the old, not too much really, just a brief overview of the old Abbott & Ashby, as I said. And if you're thinking of getting into a little bit of the old background or backyard engineering, then I highly recommend the machine. Bear in mind I'm not sponsored by anybody, but this is one type of machine I had used in industry quite a lot, and I really, yeah, get a lot out of it. There probably wouldn't be many things I used to do in that little garage that I didn't go to this machine for some part of it. So yeah, highly recommend it. Can't say enough good things about it. Let's do that, yeah. fit. So yeah, overall, pretty happy with the machine, always have been. They're great for what they are. Bear in mind they're not a 2x72, but you can do a lot on them. And of course from here, as you can see, or will be seeing, we move into the old PBD40. And yeah, from there, I used to have a lot of offcuts from the old, I went to making hardened steel jaws for the old fly vice, and I used to have a lot of offcuts of high carbon steel. So I decided I'd get into a little bit of knife making, and of course that required me again to tool up a little bit more. Some of the equipment that you might need for making knives, believe it or not, is quite expensive, so I decided to make that as well. So first coming up, if my memory serves me right, you'll see the old forge, DIY forger belt, and then the 2x72 belt grinders. So yeah, a little correction on what I was just saying. Have I tempered in this? Yes, I have. Is it ideal for tempering? No. Naturally, you can see we're looking at the front now, and you can see the frame there. What I've got over here. So moving on, I look at the top. This here, if you're familiar, you probably are. So if you can see this in the camera and you're looking down here, this is the little drawings that I've made up. So for the nozzle that the gas runs through, you might. That's my forge, and from here we got a little bit of a slideshow of some of the knives I ended up making over the year or so, and what I really liked about making the knives, really liked everything about it, but I could take a concept. That one there's a dirty old spring actually that came out of a river when I was fishing, but that's another story, look at the video. And yeah, I can take the concept and make whatever I want, and yeah, I really enjoy it and I liked it. So like I said earlier on, and from there I thought a 2x72 would be a great thing to have. So the first little blue one you got, I had to sell that to keep tooling up, and that was from Gears Design, excuse me. And yeah, that one was an amazing machine. So from there I thought too, I can do a little bit better, so I made my own design. So as you can see from that little wee overview anyway, is when it comes to 2x72 belt grinders, there's a lot more to them than just sanding stuff with a 2x72 belt. So as with anything, if you can make one of those, and I'd highly recommend if you're thinking about it to do it, yeah, you can go on from there and make a heap of attachments, which I did, and I've covered the small wheel from memory, covered the what they call a surface grinding type thing, and something else, can't remember. But anyway, there it is, and here's a few stills just to show sort of what the attachments were and what it looks like. You had a bit of a comment from somebody on my, what do you call these? I don't know what you call them really, but I call it a knife vise. They might have seen it in the video, obviously they did, and just and what you see here and coming up a little bit too is there's so many things, jigs and fixtures and whatever else you make that you need. And as with most things in my little garage, if I needed them, I had to make them. And from there, I got a little bit obsessed with making folding knives and ended up making 7 actually to get my process sorted. So we'll just have a little wee bit of a look how that progressed over the year or so, and yeah, just carry on. Part 3, the final push. So if you've been following along with part 1, part 2, you have a bit of an idea. So what you've been seeing me do naturally, you can see is I've been putting on the scales. Bit of a mission, to be fair. Bit of trouble, a few things. My first attempt at a folding knife, and there she is. Remu handles, 1084 blade. And so obviously what you can see me doing here is just assembling one of the old folding knives in the old Saga. And what you're going to see coming up next is I made myself a rise and fall indicator. Yeah, so that's all good. And then finally, the last part of the video, somewhere along the line, the old indoor oven didn't work so well. So in the spirit of going off grid, I decided to make myself a couple or 3 outdoor ovens, as it were. So I started with the old firebox in it. Didn't have any designs or didn't even know what to do. So I sort of try a couple of prototypes. And there you have it. Of course, the first one, I sold that to keep going with my little enterprise. But it worked amazingly. It was great and it's real cool. So I made another one, which is pretty much a garden feature now because I moved on, and I might make a video of that later on, of a gas-fired one. So there you go, and that'll bring the video to the end. Well, good morning. If you've watched any of my other videos, welcome back. And what's on the table? So before I proceed any further with the next folding knife, I figured I'm going to have to make myself a ruble gauge or rise and fall indicator. So I was doing a bit of a dumpster dive the other day, and I was lucky enough to come across this dial indicator. It's got no back on it, it's got no front on it, and it was yeah, I found a couple of them but been chucked out, so I've rebuilt this one, put the bits back together, and it's working pretty good. As with most things in my little garage here, if I need them, I end up having to make them, and that goes for this 2x72 which I made for myself, my old DIY forge, and the list goes on. Even my barbecue outside I had to make myself. Not too bad. Not too bad at all, I'm happy with that. So we'll get our little blade, see if we can find the little pin I made up for it. There it is. Put that on there. Put that on there. I'll try and get a little closer to the camera on that one. All wrong way. So hopefully you can see that. I'll get a bit of focus on. So hopefully you can see that. Yeah, so it's working. That's good. Naturally, I don't know where my spring's going to go, and I'll start making the knife before we get that far. All I really planned to do today was make this thing, and yeah, it's doing the job. I'm pretty happy, pretty sure that that'll work. When I figure out the spring and all the rest of it, then I'll drill a hole, and you'll probably see that when we get on with making the pocket knife. So that's the job done, really. So why not? Let's do it. Let's get stuck into it. I'll tip it back over onto its feet. Oh, don't scratch it. And you'll get a better look, hopefully, about what we're looking at. If I can fit it in. It's all gone wrong. Oh no. I've got nothing to hold on to now. Yes, I do. Ooh. Yeah, so there she is. She'll sit down on that, be stable as, because it's going to be hot on the big casters. So there we have it. You can see that the weekend's been and gone, and come right around again, and I haven't moved it. But here it is. This is where I'm up to. This is stages we're at. So this is hinged. Got a handle on here, hickory. Doesn't matter. Open that up. Goes down like this. A little bit loose on there, but yeah, prototype like I keep saying. And so we'll figure that out. Got some vents in here, and there's a bit of an ashtray going on in the bottom here. You can see all that. Comes out. Nice. So the front of it is nearly done. We're nearly ready for a test run. Get that back on there. Got my oven door here with my hinge. Opens up. If I'm not too close. Got a hole in it for the thermometer. That goes down on there. And locks in. Wee bit of tweaking still to do there. But yeah, we'll get there. And what I'm going to do, got a wooden handle here that I've made in 2 parts. Roughed out the inside. And I'm going to epoxy that on. Hopefully. The first run. Open the vents, put a bit of paper in and fire up, eh? I'd have to say I underestimated a few things with this. Firstly, the weight. Exceptionally heavy. But never mind. There it is. Got my fireproof welding helmet hat on. My jandals. And a pot of coffee ready to go. So hopefully she works. So keep an eye on that thermometer. I haven't cut any wood, to be fair, because getting a bit lazy in my old age. If it doesn't work, can't be bothered doing it. So let's give it a test run. Well, I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but we seem to have fire. So I'll close that door up. I'll go and chop some wood and we'll see what's happening. Well, I look straight in the sun, that's not good. I'll stand up and see if anything's coming out the chimney. Okay. But yeah, so far, like I say, real good, real happy. So there you have it. There's my outdoor oven. Yeah, on the most part, worked really, really well. The only problem I did have is this here, with the expansion of the heat. That's locked up a bit. I can still open it and that, but I'll tweak that up. I'll fix that. Coffee went well. That was good. I've got a bit of water in the pot there simmering. A little bit smoky at the top. But that's the wood. I said it was peach, but it's not. It's cherry tree. So that's another story. Who cares? Nylock's held up. That was good. Happy with that. All the hinges working. What's our final temperature? I'm going to let it die down now. I'm up to 150 C or 300 Fahrenheit. So as it is, I'm pretty sure I can cook something up in it. Might take a while, be a slow cook, but it'll work. So what I'm going to go from here, I'm going to put some tables out the side, put the casters on naturally and insulate it, give it a paint, and that'll be that. Naturally sand that up and that'll be cool. So yeah, a few little tweaks, but yeah, overall very, very happy with it. Didn't know if it was going to work, like I said, but there it is. It's working. It's doing the business. And there it is, a little bit of a recap over the last year or two, or whatever it's happened to be, and just a little bit of what we do and how we did it. And yeah, hopefully we're back in the game and we're bringing you some more videos soon, but who knows what's around the corner. So until then, we'll leave you with the serene scene of the waves gently lapping at the beach.